Hey guys, how are ya? Happy Halloween. It's been a week since I made the last video, so I decided what was on my heart today to share with everyone since there's so many things that I've decided to share that I've learned and that I've taught people. Um, I think one of the very most important things and most precious things I ever learned, um, other than to have gratitude in general, is to appreciate time. I want to talk about time today. Um, First and foremost, time is the most valuable and precious thing that you have. So spend it wisely. Don't give it to just anyone. We waste a lot of time. When I talked about in my last video, the time that we waste worrying about our problems and talking about our problems and amplifying our problems by talking about them and worrying about them. Um, Value your time. And so, I don't know, this theme of past, present, and future keeps coming up because of, because of talking about just being in the moment, right? So I'm reflecting on the last week and realize I still don't have my car. I still am driving a loaner car. Had some speed bumps with that. My washing machine just broke. Like all this stuff is happening all at once. Have all these tragedies happening, but simultaneously is like the best time of my life because I'm happier and healthier and more energetic than I've ever been. But what I was wanting to share is um, that my past self helped my current self, who is going to be helping my future self. So I grew up with not a lot of money and not so great of a neighborhood. And I was determined, because of everything I saw in that neighborhood, to not become a statistic, right? So I was a teen mom. And I didn't want my son and I to become statistics. So I was determined to get out of the hood, right? I grew up on the south side of Lansing. Um, and I worked hard to create financial stability for my family and I. I was able to buy a home on my own, fix my credit, build my credit, worked hard, had a career, um, and all of that was snatched away from me unjustly. But that's a conversation for another day, maybe. Um, but because my past self paid my insurance, got myself a good car, fixed my credit, um, my present self can be okay. I can still have a vehicle to drive, a loaner car, have enough credit to fix my car because I need to. And those things aren't readily available for all of the world. And so, for those of you who struggle financially, you know what I'm talking about, how the chips are kind of stacked against us. And for those of you who have never experienced financial hardship, um, hopefully this is a wake up call that when you're broke and you're going through hard times, um, it's harder. Everything is harder. And I got to enjoy for a few years what it's like to be on the other side, to have good credit and be treated differently and that kind of thing. But now that I'm back at square one and struggling again, um, I've got all kinds of perspective. Um, go back to time. We'll talk about poverty and the war on poverty another day. But so doing things today. So one of the things that I always talk about with my friends is how you are the sum total today. Who you are today is the sum total of every decision you've ever made. So if you're not happy with your life, granted, however you were raised, if you had crappy parents or you were abused or, that's part of who you are too, and you didn't make those choices, and that's not necessarily your fault. But at some point in your life as an adult, we have to have accountability for our own lives, and stop blaming the past for what we have. So For the most part, you know, the responsibility is yours. No, for all of it, not just for the most part. Your life is your own. Once you become an adult, your life is your own. So, regardless of the things that caused your brain to have these fears or these mistrusting feelings and all of that, um, it's up to you to get out of that. It's up to you to overcome that. It's up to you to learn what you have to learn and do what you have to do to overcome those obstacles. And if you don't have it for yourself, then find someone who does. If you want better, the definition of insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay? So if you're doing things that your parents did and you don't like how you were raised, or you don't like the result of where you live, the neighborhood you had, the house you grew up in, don't do what your parents did. Do something different. Learn from people who have done the things or have the things or have the lifestyle or have the happiness or the family that you desire. You're not going to get it from doing the same old thing. And then the reciprocal of that is to have something you've never had. You have to do something you've never done. So, your present self is going to determine your future self. And the more you hold on to your past self, the longer it's going to take. So, heal from the past, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Heal. Whatever that takes, whatever that means, whether it means prayer or meditation. Inner size, right? That's a term I heard recently and I love it. Like, go deep, go in here and figure out what is holding you back, what's blocking you, what's blocking that energy from moving forward and that light from shining through you. And then once you figure that out, you're free. You have the freedom to be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. And it's a magical thing. So that is I think my message for today is in the realm of time. I learned from the great John Dooley. He's 97 years old, amazing man. I'll talk more about him, I'm sure, because he is one of my mentors. He taught me about Chronos time and Kairos time. And if you are on my Facebook page, then you know my name is Anna Kairos Ari. Kairos time is the time of opportunity. It is the opportune time. It is the time where those doors are presented for you to walk through or walk away from. And if you don't take advantage of those opportunities when they come, they will pass you by. And then Chronos time is just clock time, schedule time. You got to be there by a certain time. You have a schedule to keep. That's, clock time. But Kairos time is special and it's amazing. And if you look up Kairos time, it's, it's a really neat concept. So I really like Kairos time. Right now, we are all experiencing some shifts. Some of you are experiencing heightened intuition where you feel a little psychic. Some of you are feeling just this change in energy and spirit, and I don't want to dive too much into why that is right now, but embrace it. Listen to these messages that are being sent to you. They are being sent for a reason. Take note. Start journaling. Start keeping track of what you're learning, because it's all for a reason. It's all going to lead to something very special and very beautiful in your life if you allow it to. So that is the message for today. One more thing I wanted to just put out there for someone. I feel like someone may need this for some reason. One of the things I taught in my parent support group that apparently, to me, it didn't seem like such a big message, but to this parent, it changed her world. And so it came to my mind as I was contemplating what to talk to you guys about today. And that is, people don't know what they don't know. And it kind of ties into the whole parenting thing and how we were raised and how we parent. We parent the way our parents parented us. So had I not gone to school to be a teacher and studied psychology and worked with children and gone through trainings and stuff, I would be the parent my parents were. And not that that's a bad thing. My mom is an amazing, loving human being. My dad's taught me a lot. Um, but I had a bigger perspective because I had more teachers. So the more teachers you have, the better off you're going to be with everything, whether it's financial, business, career, school. Like, find as many teachers and mentors as possible, and listen. Um, but remember that people don't know what they don't know. So when you're judging someone, when you're observing someone and how they parent or how they work, their work ethic, or whatever you're judging someone for, and we all do it, we all have judgment. Before you pass that judgment and you express that judgment, stop and think and ask yourself why. Why do they act that way? Why do they believe what they believe? Because reality is relative. Your reality is relative to your experiences. So what your reality is to you is real to you, but it's just as real to them. So two people can have the exact same experience and come back. I mean, have you ever argued with somebody and had that happen, right? You have an argument and you come back to it years later and they remember it completely different than you did. That's real because it was filtered through their experiences. And they really believe it and remember it that way. They really, truly do. And you have to respect that. In order to really create understanding between human beings, we have to respect that their reality is theirs. When there's witnesses in a case, a crime scene, the police officers don't want the witnesses talking to each other because as soon as they talk about what they saw, their reality becomes each other's. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's how it went. No, it's different. Everyone experiences it differently. So before you judge someone, just remember that people don't know what they don't know. They really don't. And you can't judge them for what they don't know. All you can do is be an example and a role model and show them differently and do it in a loving and caring way so that they receive it, because no one receives a message when it's angry. They just don't. And even if they do, there's going to be resentment behind the change in their actions. But if it's done with love and it's done with positive energy and it's done because you care, then they will receive it so much better. Now, not everyone. Some people don't appreciate the message no matter how much love you show them. And again, that's a conversation for another day. But show love, give love, be the light. I love you all. I'm going to keep doing this as long as it's helping, because that's what I want to do. I want to help people. So, and if you have questions, like I've worked with a lot of people. So if there's something that I've ever taught you or a concept that we've ever discussed that helped you, inbox me, leave it in the comments so that I can talk about it and share it with more people. Because that's what drives me and motivates me. And because I've been away from that for some months now, I feel empty. And so being able to do this for people again is making me feel alive again. So if there's ever anything I ever taught you or that you learned from me, or that you or even that you just have a question about my opinion, if you care about my opinion, send me a private message or leave it in the comments, ask a question, and we'll talk about it, because my perspective has changed. I used to be a very angry, resentful person. Sorry, my kids are in the background yelling at each other. I used to hold on to a lot of pain, and people can change. That's one of the myths out there, that people can't change. At the heart of you are who you are, and it's hard to change. It's really hard to change, but you can change your perspective. You can forgive. You can release your pain. You can heal. And I want to help teach you how to do that. So we can do a one-on-one session. We can do some personal development coaching. We can do some energy healing. We can just talk about it, but it can get better, and I can help you make it better, I promise. And if you're someone who I've helped, if you've ever had Reiki or if you've ever received coaching from me, leave that in the comments too, so that people know what we do and what I do. And I'm going to interview Opal for you guys so you guys can get to know her as well, because she's my mentor. She's teaching me a lot, and I am enjoying so immensely being her student. So this is getting to be a long video. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to upload. And happy Halloween. Be blessed. Be who you are as we're going out into the world pretending to be someone else. Remember that who you are is amazing. So it's fun to pretend, but be you, because there's only one, and you're you for a reason, and the real you is something to be shared. Next time I post, I'll share my favorite poem with you all, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So have a great night.